Greetings. It's been a little while. I hope everything is well. Hope you're doing good. I'm chilling right now. Well, 100,000 views for my Magnum Opus, Kemet and Ma'at before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. That's the video playing right now in the background, so to speak. The title really is Introduction to Kemet. I'm really glad, even though back then it had 300,000 views before the former account was terminated. When I had 9,000 subscribers, so good. I'm getting back because now we are at 8,000. So today I will show you some Meduneta. It will not be much, but the next time it will be a bit deeper. The Meduneta, of course. And today I will also go through the comments because there are quite a few. So as usual, feel free to leave any comment. I'm sharing the links. Hold on. To my main work. Probably the video that I am the most proud of. Now, I'm sharing the link to Deception of Asiatic Black Men. And now, White Semites Black Awakening. Remember, people, make sure to subscribe to my account. In one word, it's Ma'at Forever. Make sure to put a thumb up and to add your videos, the video to your favorite. And also click on that notification bell so you can be notified every time I go live, anytime there's a new video or what have you. So we will start with the Meduneta. Let me see how it looks now. Oh, okay. Okay, it shows on screen. Let me see if I can make it slightly bigger. Can I not? No, I can't. Probably I can. It's funny. What if I do that? Oh, it doesn't make a difference, does it? Okay. Okay, let's keep it this way. Now, this word is waset. I will tell you what waset is. Today it is called thieves. Thieves. Well, at least that's the Western word for this city. A very simple, very basic. This glyph alone stands for waset. You should know this one by now. This is one of the symbols that we see the most. The loaf of bread for the sound T. And this ideogram for a city or a place. I took that picture myself. It's from the artifact in the Louvre Museum in Paris, France. The reference is B66. Now, here is what Thebe is. Hold on. There it is. So let me see if we can read. Okay, that's good. I'll make this bigger. Now, Thebes, this is according to the Encyclopedia Britannica, one of the famed cities of antiquity, the capital of the ancient Egyptian empire at its heyday. Thebes lay on either side of the Nile River at approximately latitude 26 degrees north. The modern town of Luxor or Al Uqsa, which occupies part of the site, is 419 miles south of Cairo. Ancient Thebes covered an area of some 36 square miles. The main part of the city was situated along the Nile's east bank. Along the west bank was the necropolis or city of the dead, an area containing the royal tombs and mortuary temples, as well as the houses of those priests, soldiers, craftsmen, and laborers who were devoted to the service of the Egyptian rulers. The Thebes area, including Luxor, the Valley of the Kings, the Valley of the Queens, and Karnak, was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1979. The ancient name of Thebes was Wase or Wose, the Nome province of Wase. The fourth of Upper Egypt is known to have existed from the 4th dynasty onward. The earliest monuments that have survived at Thebes proper date from the 11th dynasty, when the local monarchs united Egypt under their rule. From this time, Thebes frequently served as the royal capital of Egypt and was called Noe or Nue, city of Amun, named for its chief god. The Greek name Thebes, Thebai, may have been derived from Taope, the ancient Egyptian name for Luxor. I don't know why they put was without a T, because in the glyph we can see it, but doesn't matter much. It's all good. Now that we have, I mean, this is not the whole entry of the Encyclopedia Britannica. That's just the beginning, actually. But I don't want this to be too long. So now we're going to go through the comments. Hold on. Go there. Share the screen. Let's see now. Okay, I have to make this bigger. Hold on. Okay, where was I last time? Mm-hmm. Okay, I will start here. Can't even remember where I stopped the last time. Now, I have to make this slightly bigger again. Bear with me. And now it should be okay. All right. So this is in a video live like Onk, which is probably the latest video. No, the one before last. I've uploaded Farkan saying that Prophet Muhammad was a white man, which is problematic to people like Wesley Muhammad, who claims that Prophet Muhammad was black. So Wesley Muhammad is contradicting not only Elijah Muhammad, but also Farkan. Now, this is a comment left by the Love Box. Oh, no, just before that, there's Terence Timmons, who in a video came out wrote, I want to learn and speak Meduneta. So what I did is share the link to the playlist. And you know what? I will share it now. I'll share this link so you'll have it in the chat. Playlist of Meduneta lessons or introduction, if you will. I'm gonna move this. Okay. So moving right along, the laugh box wrote, hey, I have some questions. I know the video isn't about this, but I'm researching the Bible in Kemet. Is the whole Bible from Kemet or just some scriptures and thus can talk about the agenda that I see going on here in America and the world. The Bible does. Why is that? I know here in America, the Luciferian organizations believe in the Egyptian gods and did put some of their belief of the Egyptian gods in the Bible. And they are pushing its citizens to believe in this and other things like Eastern mysticism. Thus, can we talk about this? So many questions. I think it will be helpful in my research. Thanks. I will answer the first questions, and that would do for the first question. That would do for me. Is the whole Bible from Kemet or just some scriptures? I would say just some scriptures. I would say just some scriptures because the whole Bible is not from Kemet. Kemet, absolutely not. Moving right along in the video entitled "What Color Was Prophet Muhammad?" Yabes wrote, I agree 100%. He was a white man, according to the hadith I've read, but he never existed and he was never a good man. So-called Prophet Muhammad was a racist and owned two black slaves. Since when slavery masters were good people? Quran was written 70 plus years after Muhammad and Buhari. Hadith were written 200 years after Muhammad's death. Black African people need to read one verse. Al-Tirmidhi. Hadith number 38. Muhammad, black race people will go to hell and white race people will go to heaven. Ishaq Hadith 243, devil look like black man with long flowing hair. Sahih Bukhari Hadith 1032, only black dog is a devil, other colors are not devil. I really don't think that there is a hadith that says that the black race people will go to hell and the white race will go to heaven. In the Quran, it talks about people who did wrong, who have their face blackened or darkened. You have to look at the word, but it's not specifically talking about black people. This hadith, I think if there was a hadith where Muhammad would say that black people go to hell, I think it would be really, really, really known. I think it would have been quoted so many times by now. And this is one thing that, it's a shame when people are making quotes that are not accurate because it does not serve anyone. But if I'm wrong, somebody will just correct me and say, well, indeed, there's this hadith that says that. And if there is, then I wouldn't think that it's a sahih. Sahih meaning authentic. But it says, though, however, in Sahih Bukhari that Prophet Muhammad owned, they had slaves, they had black slaves, indeed. Indeed. Now, in the video, what color was Prophet Muhammad? Susie wrote, if I'm not mistaken, I'm sure Wesley Muhammad said Prophet Muhammad was a black man. Actually, I know Wesley Muhammad said that. And I replied, yes, homie Wesley said that Muhammad was black, contrary to Elijah and Lewis. In the video, what color was still the same video? There's also anti-black and slavery sentiments in the Quran. The ideas of blackness being cursed by God can also be found in the Quran. In the Surah Al-Imran, verses 106 to 107 says, on the day, certain faces will be illuminated and others will darken. Those whose faces will be darkened. Verse 107, and as for those faces shall be enlightened, they shall be in the mercy of Allah, where they shall dwell forever. The quote says, it's from these Abrahamic religions that the black African race started to see themselves as lowly and inferior. Before any religion came in the picture, our ancestors perceived themselves as royalty. In the video, Kimet Ma'at, Maureen Reed wrote, thank you so much, love. In the video, Meduneta lesson, Malcolm King wrote, Hotep, Ahbet, Dua, Yek M. Shena. And thank you for your work. Now is the time for conversational study groups, Facebook Live, WhatsApp group conference calls. I'm with it. Well, we need more people to do that kind of things. We definitely need more people. You can just witness the lives. People log in, but they don't really participate. The videos of Medunetza don't have much views. It's a sad truth. So I hope that we will have more people so we can really be conversing in Medunetza. So to the people to step up to the plate. I'm doing my share. I'm doing my part. You are doing yours. It's up to the people as well. We can't sleep on them though. On the video entitled God's Older Sister, Rand Mark Carter wrote, I don't know what ASA means. Somebody might tell me in the chat. You have to remember that God is not the creator God from the beginning. That creator God perfected himself through the annals of time, using our DNA in the person of Master Farah Muhammad, God in his title, but he comes in the name of the creator in honor as Allah, the first of our species, the black man from the universe. I guess you are free to believe in whatever you want to believe in. MCT Live, it's been a while. Hey, Sister Hotep, hope you're doing well. I'm glad you're here. Now, in the video entitled Riza Islam in Jail, Why? Smithy Smith wrote English and come back and make a video, bro. I've logged that person and I wanted to show you. That was left an hour ago only. The same person telling me to learn better English as usual, and I hope you can see it on the screen. Why? What hasn't changed? Okay, I think I open it in a. Oh, it's opening automatically in a new window. Okay, here it is. That's her account or his account. I don't know. 6 subscribers, not a single video. As usual, it's the people who do the less who are the livest. The livest. Well, my English, which apparently is not to your standard, has led to 100,000 views on my main video that I am the most proud of. It's not the video that has the most views, and there's 8,000 subscribers. So get your numbers up, and then we'll see. But you can come into the real world and let us hear how well spoken you are. So it's all good. It's all good. And in the video Curse of Harm, Gottlieb wrote the Canaanites that God had Joshua destroy were black. I doubt that. I doubt that. From the time period of Joshua, I doubt that the Canaanites were black. And you know what? I will share the video White Supremacist Black Awakening. That was left 58 minutes ago. I doubt that. Oh, hold on. Sharing the link for him. Or her. Who knows? And Ali Dickerson wrote that regarding Riza Islam that he sold us out just like Farrakhan. Now, hold on. I'm still learning Medunetta, but I'm confused. Is it sounds or is something else? Oh. Bear with me. Okay. I will share the screen. Bear with me, it's at 12. Okay. Now make it slightly smaller. Okay. Now, System City. Those glyphs have phonetic values, so indeed they represent sounds. This is the sound ah. This is a ah sound also, but a glottal ah. Ah. B sound, D sound, E, E as well, F, G, as in G, like game. H, this is that H, Hotep, the Hotep. No more H, J sound, K sound, M sound, N, P, K. A stronger K, similar to the Arabic cough. R sound, S, S, T, U sound, ch, ch, similar to the jota in Spanish, and also you have a similar sound in Arabic. Sh sound, sh. It's like this one is difficult to describe. It's between the H and the. But it's like it's the one for which word again? I think it's the one for Ma'akeru. I think that's the sound. And many times people say Ma'akeru, but we can double check later on. N sound, M sound. Simple as that. So if you have this one here, the H sound, the sound, with the T and the P, that will be Hotep. Now, those are unilaterals. They stand for one sound. You have biliteral, which stands for two sounds. Like sa, for example, the duck, sa, which means sun. If you add the T, that's sat. And you have triliterals, like the symbol for nefer. And that's about it. So the more glyphs you know, and the more verse you can be. Bear with me, Tekiva and Sat 12. So the job represents the G sound. What will one do to make a word from the middle letter? It is best to actually I have a word list. Bear with me. I have a word list, so I will show you. Here's the word list. It is best to actually know words that do exist, or that are part of the grammar, that were written down, rather than just make up words. Now, it's cool to use the symbols to make, for example, to write our names. Our names would have not been in use back then, like 3,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago. But besides our names and words that were not in existence back then, I'd rather recommend that we use words that were in existence. And that's when the grammar comes into play. And that's when it is useful to have a book. Gardner's book, Egyptian Grammar, is floating around online. You know, the PDF is floating around. But just for the sake of example, I will share. Let me see how it looks. Yes, that's actually from the first video the first introduction. Hold on. You see, oh, let me go there. That's the E sound. That's a biliteral, which stands for the uh, sound M and N. So that's pronounced men. This is the N sound. So you don't pronounce that imenen. You just pronounce that imen. That's just the grammar. And imen is actually amun. That's amun. That's the way it's spelled. That's the way it's written. And here it's a bit small. So I will. Oh, hold on. Can I make it bigger? Okay, can't make it bigger. Can we see it on the screen? Yes, we can. We can see it on the screen. That's imen. That's ara. That's the symbol for neter, and that's okay. Alone, it can stand for seba, but I'm not really sure that's what it stands for right here. But here you have imen ara, amun ra, nature, God, and hold on. Let me go through. Hold on. Yeah. Um, this is exactly the example I was talking about. Now, can we see clearly on the screen? Yeah, we can see it. Now, this is sa that I mentioned earlier. The duck. It's a biliteral. It stands for two sound. That means son. So that's the F sound. Sa F. His son. Mary F. Beloved. His beloved son. And then you have Hotep here. You have two different forms of writing Hotep. You have the altar, the offering altar that stands for Hotep alone, with the complement, the grammatical complement of the T and the P. So you don't pronounce that Hotep Tep, you're just Hotep. And there you have the alternative way, the H sound that I showed earlier, the P sound, and the T sound. Well, the order is funny there, but I will dwell on that another time. Um, I cannot make it bigger, so I will look for one that's larger. You see here, can we see? Well, it's a bit small, but you have Sa, which stands for son, Sat, which stands for daughter, and here name, Aren, symbol for R, symbol for N. So Ren is a word that means name. Ren E, my name. Ren F, his name. Ren S, her name. Ren Ek, your name. See, it's not complicated. It's just different. Now, MCT wrote, I know it's different from how we speak, especially using the English language. Yes, it is. It has to be. Languages are never the same exactly. Oh, you read it left to right like we do today. It can be read left to right and right to left. And but I explained that in the video. I recommend that you watch the link that I shared. I think I still have the link. Oh no, it's not this one. Playlists. I will share the playlist and I will read the other comments because the people have been waiting for a while. Midnight, that's the one. Medu Neta Essence. Okay, now I'm going up to the comments that I have not addressed yet. Sat12 wrote, Matt, however, some people say the definition of black is skin only. For instance, Herodotus called the Asian Indians Eastern Ethiopian. If that definition is used, could Muhammad have been black? Could Muhammad have been black? We cannot assume that Muhammad could have been black just because some Indians were called Eastern Ethiopians. If people claim that Muhammad was black, they just need to quote instances where he is described as black, and it is best to quote from the Sahih Hadith. Sahih means authentic. When you have a Sahih Hadith, Muslims will not dispute them. And if we had depictions of him, I guess that would solve the matter. But we know that there are not commonly depictions of him except for some Shiites who have made depictions. But sometimes people come up with depictions like 1,000 years later, like the Nuwapians did with their drawings. But they didn't do it as if to say this is how Muhammad looked like. They did it for their literature. And then some professor in France, some Pan African professor in France showed it to the people and said, look, this is the description of Prophet Muhammad. That's how it looked like. He even said he has the depiction of him when he was younger. That's just ridiculous, but that's Pan Africans for you. Now, let me continue. To give a wrote, hey, I stumbled on a fascinating vid through you may find interesting. According to this guy's research, Mecca only came about after Petra was devastated in an earthquake. I don't know about this. I saw a video of a guy who says that what we think as the location of Mecca in Arabia is not actually the location that he's supposed to be somewhere else. I think he's talking about Jordan or something, but it doesn't make much difference to me. So indeed, it can be read from left to right or right to left. It depends on the direction that the glyphs are facing. And the easiest is to look in which direction the individuals, like the seated man we see here on the right of the screen, is facing towards the left. So we read from left to right. If he was facing towards the right, then we will read from right to left. And if you have a man or a woman, look up for an animal, and then if it's just symbols, you have to just know the order of the symbol, and you get used to it over time. But Medunetta is probably the only writing that can be read not only from left to right and right to left, but also up and down, but never down from the top, never bottom to top. From top to bottom, yes, but never from the bottom to the top. The direction of the text wasn't fixed. It was directed by the way the figures were facing. Indeed. Oh, you don't have to worry, MCT. It's not that difficult. Yes, I watched that video. I remember years ago I used your website, EG Decoded, and made my name Medunetta. Oh, that's great. I'm so glad to read that. All right, brothers and sisters, there are 8 people, 7 now. And well, that was half an hour already. Tomorrow I have some Medunetta. There's it will not just be the name of a city. It will be more interesting. We will have several words from the same tomorrow. The next time. I don't know if I said tomorrow, but next time. Probably tomorrow, but I don't want to promise anything. It will be a full artifact. A full artifact in the Louvre Museum. So it's an original document. And yes, it took me some time to actually show the Medunetta symbol next to the original document. So basically, the Medunetta, as you see it on the screen, you have them, and you will see the original document. Are you familiar with Dana Marnish? Oh, I've heard about her. It appears to me that she's the she's the kind of person it's like talking about black people everywhere in the Maghreb, in North Africa, in Asia, and all that, and other than that, I don't have much thing to say. I mean, I think she even said that the Tamahu were black. I don't know about that, but are you able to read the King's List? I wouldn't say I'm able to read the King's List. I mean, You have to be very skilled in Medineta to be able to read the king's list, or you would have to know many names. But I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't just say so. I know there's some, you know what I'm saying? I have to learn more. There's so many glyphs. There's so many glyphs. So what's good? It's been a while. Stay safe, stay healthy. Um, I don't know if it will be tomorrow. I will be back home, but it will be soon. It will be soon. Thank you once again for coming. I appreciate that when you're here. And remember to share the video came at my art. Really, um, it's a very significant video. It doesn't cost a thing. It doesn't cost you a dime. It doesn't cost you a dollar to share it, to add it to your favorite, to create playlist and add it to your playlist, to put the thumb up, to share the link. And remember, if you have a social network and you don't have any website or any blog, then feel free to put the link to either the video, commit in my ad or my account, my YouTube account, or any other video that you like that I made. Why not? Um, if you don't want to do that, it's cool, but you can at least share, even on Twitter. All those things make a difference, really. All those things make a difference. Dana Marnish has a website and wrote a chapter in Golden Age of the Moors by Van Selsma. I think that's where she wrote at the time who were um, whites. If it's not there, it must have been her website, but or her blog. I think it's a blog she had, but it might have changed. Years ago I've looked at it. She might be right or wrong, but she's a good researcher. Maybe, who knows? Some people have positions years ago and can't change. Walter Williams, the one who wrote the historical origin of Christianity and the historical origin of Islam, he's been saying that the Medinetta has not been deciphered, and many people say that he's a good researcher. But when you make such a bold claim, I don't think you can be labeled a good researcher. I mean, come on now. 2019. I think he first made that claim like 1992 when the book was released, and he rolled that claim for like 20 years. And you see that this is one big problem. Like, for example, when I address Kwanzaa is not only made up, but it's just a plagiarism of Hanukkah, and the dude who created that holiday, tortured black women. And he might have been an agent. But you know what they would say, it's pro, it's just false accusation. Okay, let's leave it aside. Molefe Asante wrote a book in honor of Karenga. So rather than admitting, well, you know what? This dude was foul. I wasn't up on game. He just wants to make any excuse. He just wants to say anything to leave Karenga off the hook. Molefe Asante went as far as calling Mukasa Africa an agent provocateur. Can you imagine that? So basically, you're going to torture a black woman and you create the holiday, which is a plagiarism of a Jewish holiday. And someone who writes about those wrongs will be labeled the agent provocateur. And it's just a shame. That professor that I addressed earlier, it's been a few years now that he showed some drawings from the Nubians. You know how they usually do. If you haven't seen their videos, they show drawings of characters, like biblical characters, Quranic characters, and so on. And that's what the professor did in France, a Pan-African professor. He showed one of those drawings and he said, here's Prophet Muhammad, according to the method called like criminal investigation, or the French word criminology. And this is his depiction. And I even have depiction of him when he was younger. He said that during his own lecture that was being filmed. So I had the footage and I was like, oh, come on now. And I was actually there. Not only I have the footage, but I was there when he showed that. I couldn't believe my eyes. And I was asking about this footage because I wanted to show it to the people, because sometimes people might not believe when there's such weird things. Like Farrakhan talking about we didn't have kinky hair. If you don't show the video and you tell people about it, they might look at it too funny, like, what are you talking about? We didn't have kinky hair, we curse, or we disfigured, and this is essence of ugliness. Sometimes you have to see it to believe it, or hear it to believe it. But anyway, that professor, he never made an amendment. Years later, he never made an amendment, and he doesn't kill to make an amendment. Well, my bad, I was wrong. Let's keep it pushing. You know? So I don't know what Don Mani's position is now. And Golden Age of the Moor, I mean, well, I guess we're going to let the Moors keep on dreaming. Keep on dreaming and thinking that black people invaded Europe for 700 years. You know, Martin Luther King had a dream, and I guess the Moors have a dream too. They want to be happy with that. Okay, be happy with that. So at the end of the day, it's as if I'm a dream crusher, because instead of having facts, we have dreams. Black people invaded Europe, conquered Europe, and ruled Europe for 700 years, and they are Moors. All right. Suit yourself. If you want to believe that, that makes you happy, I guess. It is what it is. What more can I say? What more can I say? So, Sat12 wrote, if Obenga and Asai are not accurate on their Egyptian language theories, are you interested in investigating links between Medinet and other African languages and do it better? I never said that Obenga was not accurate. Now, so how can I answer that question? Links between Medinet and African languages, I mean, that has been done by several people. Job did a little bit. Obenga did a little bit during the Cairo Conference in 1974. There are books written also, and I think Obenga did that. I haven't read Jean-Claude Mboli's book, but it appears to me that he does that as well. But you see, the things that just because you're showing a relationship between what? Hold on. Sat 12. You wrote that I pointed out that Obenga didn't have linguistic training. Theophile Obenga is a linguist, isn't he? When did I say that? You must be confused. You must be confused. When did I say that? I never said that. I never. No, I was talking about Asylum Hotel, not Obenga. I mentioned Obenga because Osai Imhotep, and you can hear Jonathan Owen saying that you invalidate such and such, and one of the name was, it's all good, Yeah, sorry, my mistake. That's what Sat 12 wrote. Yes, in the video that I shared the last time, you can hear Jonathan Owen saying to Osai Imhotep, you invalidate Obenga, you invalidate Rekiti Amen, you invalidate, he said all the names. I mean, Osai Imhotep, he knows better than all these people, and he's not a linguist himself. No, I was talking about Asai Imhotep. Asai Imhotep goes around talking about he's a linguist, but to my knowledge, he doesn't have any degree in linguistics. It doesn't have. I mean, that's why I talked about people. Can people say that they are medical doctor? Because in that exchange with Jonathan Owens, he says, "Yes, I'm a linguist because I do linguistics." That's why I make that analogy. Just like I made the analogy of the United States of America, the United States Army invaded Iraq or Afghanistan or any other country that you want. It would not be fair, it would not be accurate for people to say, well, black people or African Americans invaded those places just because we can see some black soldiers. It's the same with the Moors. They had black soldiers who were most likely second class citizens, just like Bruno Kurashidi said in the video that I shared also before, when one of the guy was publicly humiliated. So I was giving the analogy of somebody, I mean, somebody's injured and he's bleeding, and I heal the wound, I put a plaster. Can I say I'm a medical doctor because I do medicine? It's just too easy. So no, Theophilo Benga he's a heavyweight. Now I'm aware that Assar and other people that talk, appealing to authority, and blah 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 blah. But come on now, those people done the studies, they earned their degrees, they've done their work, and it's all good in having a theory. But see, one problem is that when you hear these people talking, hold on. But somebody theoretically could be a self-taught linguist. If one says that he is a historian, he has a degree in history. If someone claims to be an Egyptologist, he has a degree in Egyptology. In the academic world, if you say I'm a historian and you don't have no degree in history, you will be labeled as a fraud. Same if you claim to be an Egyptologist. I guess he can say he's an enthusiast, but he can say whatever he wants at the end of the day. What's amazing to me is when he's just well, I mean, the exchange is there, man. If he knows better than Obenga and all these people, when you hear those people having discourses, you just tell them you don't agree with their claim, and they're on some like, but you don't understand, or you don't understand, you don't understand. People understand, they just disagree. Like that riparian country came at being meaning riparian country. Let's do the test. You can do the test. Now I'm not in contact with Obenga and Reketiamen and Egyptologists worldwide, but you can do the test and ask Egyptologists. Does Kemet mean riparian country? I find it very strange when there's a word that has been there for ages, for a very long time, and some people come out of the blue and say this word means this. It's a bit similar to those people claiming that Prophet Muhammad was black, when for all this time he's been described as white and considered as white, and people have been studying the Arabic language, and Abiyad means white. But then comes the linguistic acrobatics. Now we have some people saying, well, you know what I'm saying? Abiyad, it doesn't mean white, it means blah, 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 blah. So Prophet Muhammad was black. But yet, they cannot give you a quote of a Sahih hadith, where Muhammad is described as black. Sister City for sharing my work on Twitter. So the latest big trend on YouTube is a video that the African slave trade was highly exaggerated and black people are primarily indigenous Americans there before the Europeans. It's not the latest trend. It's been going on for a long time. Some people say indeed that some even went as far as saying slavery slave trade, transatlantic slave trade never happened. Some people went as far as saying that. And I think during the Seni and Alim Bey debate, there was some statement that were close to that. Some people even say, well, show us the boats that brought the Africans over. You can ask them, show us the boats that brought the Europeans over in the Americas. It's just sad. I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes you feel like, I mean, the Moors is simple. Many, if not most Moors, don't want to have anything to do with Africa. So they'll claim Atlantis. They'll claim Lemuria. They'll claim everywhere except Africa. It's as simple as that. But to finish my thought about riparian country, just ask. And even if it's not someone who has a degree in Egyptology, ask someone who's been studying the Medunata. Just ask around. Ask Mario Beatty. Ask Rekiti Amen. Ask Theophado Benga. Ask Mboli, Jean-Claude Mboli. A lot of the slave ships were converted for different purposes. MCT Live wrote, I first woke up to your video you did, and I think it was called The Jesus Smith. The Jesus Smith. If that was you used SETI in your video back then. No, it was not me. Don't recall making any video called The Jesus Smith. And I don't recall making any video talking about history using SETI. But I did put out a video where I was defending SETI. That's a long time ago when his address was put online. I didn't like that. But that's like 2008. It's like over 10 years ago. So yeah, I mean, it's just easy. By asking questions, we can really get, well, on another note, on another topic, on another subject, people claim that Prophet Muhammad was black. He was described as Abiyad, which means white. So it's all good, MCT. It's all good. Not to say my bad. Ask Arabic speakers. What does Abiyad mean? You will see they will tell you it means white. And then ask them, is it possible that back then, at the time of Prophet Muhammad, that Abiyad meant black? Now, in case I made a mistake, ask them what does Abiyad mean, and you will see they will tell you that Abiyad means white. And ask them if it's possible that at any time it meant black. It's as simple as that. As simple as that. Satwa wrote, are people getting more interested in Kemet now compared to a few years ago or less? Oh, I would say less. 2008, oh my goodness. 2008, everybody was down. Everybody was non-Abrahamic. Everybody was back to the ancestral way and stuff like that. But then Asiatic black men came in. People like Wesley Muhammad vilifying Kemet, saying throw Kemet in garbage can, throw him out in the trash can, throw him in Rod Slave, making God away, showing a depiction of Tutankhamun attacking Nubians. But that same artifact that he showed, I can't remember if it was a box, but I actually seen it from my own eyes in Cairo Museum. You cannot film anymore now in Cairo Museum. Before you could, but not anymore. But even before I went and seen it from my own eyes, I looked up the artifact, and once again, I can't remember if it's a box, but on the other side, you have the same scene where Tutankhamun is attacking the Asiatics. It's not for nothing that I have quoted where a letter was intercepted, where the Asiatics were asking Nubians to gang up on the ancient Egyptians, basically to make an alliance to attack the ancient Egyptians. You understand what I'm saying? So you have 1,000 years of slavery for Muslims, but just one depiction of Tutankhamun attacking Nubians, and that's it. Oh my goodness, look at how they mistreated the Nubians. Black on black crime. And he even went as far as showing Syrians, and he said those were black Syrians, please. Hence the importance of the video, White Somebody's Black Awakening. Those people were white, they were Caucasians. But anyway, so with this linguistic acrobatics, claiming that the Arabs were black, then people went, all over the place. And we heard that we were told that Allah go even further back than Osiris, and he showed you the Babylonian or the Canaanite god El. So now El is Allah now. I mean, we've heard it all, man. We've heard it all. But anyway, I was a bit long-winded to address that, but I would not say people are more interested in Kemet now. And also, Walter Williams claim, because we had some die-hard fans of Walter Williams, no, the Medunetta has not been deciphered. And that's a shame that setting Young Pharaoh also shared that opinion strongly. And I think even to this day, they still do. It's really a shame. There are some faience ties at Ramses III temple of black-looking Syrians. I think I know the ones you're talking about. But if you look at the video called White Somebody's Black Awakening, you will see many depictions or artifacts of people from all these areas that we call Mesopotamia, the Levant, the Near East, and those ancient cities, Lagash, Sumer, the Akkadians, Mesopotamians, Sumerians, and you can clearly see they are Caucasians. So what's funny also is that there's a few people who claim that the Medunetta has not been deciphered, and they have Medunetta names. They have ancient Egyptian names. So no, I would not say people are, from my observation, no. And the Medunetta lessons that I have uploaded, this is one proof to back up my statements. Because look at the views, look at the comment. And I know so many people over the years who told me that they want to learn the Medunetta, that they wish they could learn the Medunetta. When the Medunetta introductions there, when the lessons are there, you don't see them. You don't hear them. It's just like people for years who've been telling me that they're going to read such and such books. Years later, they never get to read that book. They never got to read the book. And it's not as if people have to learn the Medunetta. But I think it's a shame when people claim to be so down and they really want to learn it and they just don't. And I think the saddest part was when I was rolling with a team with a Kemetic name also, and they did fence fried and allowed the Asiatic black men to take over. And they allowed the Asiatic black men teaching to take over, such as Africans are living a jungle life and black means death. And that was a shame because there was a waste of time. I wouldn't have put so much energy back then, waking up so early in the morning to be on a radio broadcast and share some information, and ended up being slandered because I was against disrespect towards black people, towards Africans. I think it's the worst part when the people who claim to be down with Kemet and Ma'at, and they allow Africans in Africa to be disrespected. For an Asiatic black man to disrespect Africa and Africans, it's not surprising. They're teaching that Africans are living a jungle life. That's in their Supreme Wisdom or 120 or Muslim lessons or student enrollment or whatever they call it. And you heard Farrakhan talking about the essence of ugliness, describing our phenotype. When I say our phenotype, I mean the black Negroid phenotype: thick lips, broad nose, and kinky hair. And I know they will say, "Oh, not every black people have kinky hair. Some black people have straight hair." Yeah, whatever, whatever. What is the predominant phenotype? What is the predominant? Anyway, why do you think Seti doesn't want the middle letter to be deciphered? He must not like some of the text. It's not about not liking some of the text. I mean, there's a video where someone asked Seti if he knows the middle letter. He replied, "I know bits and pieces of it. I've seen the video. It's probably still on YouTube." So at one point, he knew pieces of it. Later on, it's not being deciphered. That's a shame. That's a big shame to me. That's a big shame to me. But it is what it is. There was supposed to be a debate about that. The debate didn't happen. It is what it is. He's not done with Asiatic concept either, but for some reason he doesn't want the text. I over the years, people have their position. Now I have hypotheses about why people say that it hasn't been deciphered, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And it's nothing personal. When Walter Williams was saying that, I just disagreed. When Walter Williams fans or supporters were saying that, I used to disagree. On radio broadcast, I had a fair bit of people who used to come and try to roll with Walter Williams' claim. So when Seti or Young Pharaoh or anybody else says that, I still disagree. It's nothing personal. I'm not picking and choosing. And I even have people saying, we were not there, so we don't know. We cannot decipher it. We're not there for the Arabic. We were not there for the Hebrew. But nobody says that it hasn't been deciphered. I can't understand Seti's motive. Well, actually, I've been reading comments, but I haven't shown them. So hold on. This is what he wrote. Sat 12. Why do you think Seti doesn't want the middle letter to be deciphered text? And he wrote, he's not down with the Asiatic concept either, but for some reason he doesn't want the text. And Sat 12 wrote, I can't understand Seti's motive. I can't understand it either. But at some point, you don't have to ask yourself too many questions. People have their stances. People have their opinion, their way of going about things, and you can't just change people like that. So everybody do what they have to do, what they feel like they have to do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not in favor of falsehood, no matter where it comes from or no matter who it comes from. Some people say, I think it may be because you want to invent what the Egyptians thought. I don't think so. I don't think we could say. I mean, we're not in his mind. You can ask him. People can ask him, but me personally, I don't feel like wasting time asking someone why do you think this has not been deciphered or many letters been. And one argument that I think is sad is some people say, well, the Europeans could not have deciphered the Mennonite. The Europeans could not have deciphered the Egyptian language. I mean, come on now. Think about the Coptic, the latest form of the Mennonite. You have to think about things like that. Now, Aeon Stealth, Matt revealed to me many details of her life, but I don't speak English, sorry. Okay. I think that's the guy from Ukraine or something like that. Or maybe, I don't know. I was about to say something before I read that comment. I think that's one issue with Asai Hotep. At some point, it appears that he was trying to say that some Niger Congo languages were closer to the Meduneta than the Coptic. And actually, In that same exchange that I shared before, you can hear Jonathan Owens alluding to that, mentioning that. But just for the record, the Egyptian language, the Coptic, is a we can say it's the latest form of the Medunetta. So Champollion was not the first one working on the Medunetta. Other people did, and the Rosetta Stone is very simple. You have the Greek and the Medunetta, and in the cartouche we know that there is a king's name. So he was able to work out what symbols stood for what sound because you had the cartouche, you had the names of the kings, you had the Greek language, and you had the Medunetta, and it's the same text. You have the same text in Greek and Medunetta. And people know about the Coptic language because even to this day it is still spoken, though it is mainly at church, but it is still spoken. So it is more or less a living language, and it is very close to the Medunetta. So it doesn't take like a multi extreme genius. That's what seems to bother people, like as if Champollion was like the man times 10. He was lucky to come across the Rosetta Stone. But people have been working before Champollion. People knew about at least a few symbols. People had started working on it. It's not as if like before Champollion we didn't know jack about the Medunetta. No, it's not like that. It's just not like that. But anyway, I've been flowing for an hour and 7 minutes. I'm really going to stop now. I went from doing like 15 minutes live, 20 minutes live, to now going like over an hour. But I must admit, and you probably have noticed that I really like the communication. I don't say that just so that it can sound good. I really do like the interaction. I like to know how people think, why they think that way, and it helps me also. Some question help me, and sometimes it gives me idea of things that I will address or ideas of artifacts or documents or references that I should look for the next time or for some time to come. And also when I can talk to my relatives. You understand what I'm saying? Do you think there are many more Kemet texts to be translated that might have useful information? Or is the temple text so much religious text, but other type texts on science, etc. are lost? Don't really answer. I don't really understand your question, but I don't think there are many more Kemetic texts to be translated, but it appears that there will be a lot more. There will be many documents that will be unveiled. Some of you might have heard about the scanning that they did, and apparently there's so many things on the ground in ancient Egypt. And since tourism is the number one source of income for Egypt, it's only right that they just reveal periodically, oh, we found a temple there, or we found a coffin there, and we found they're not going to unearth anything in one go. No, they have to keep the dough coming. They have to keep the interest coming. They have to keep the attention of the world coming. So they do it slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly, slowly and slowly, slowly but surely. So, but anything that they will find like that, it will be translated quick because they have many people who know the Medunetta, and there are scholars in that field and they are paid for that. So they will do that. They will do that as time goes by. We can learn as well and we can read ourselves. So when we go, for those of us who go, and when we look at the artifacts, because they are being numerized, we have them online, we have them in books, we have them in PDFs. So we can just go through it and know how and what our ancestors thought. And we can make the comparison with the current languages if it is necessary or if we feel like it. It's just not complicated. You see, Hebrew Israelites, many of them learn Hebrew, and black people convert to Islam because um, I know many people who were born into Muslim family, like continental Africans of second, third generation, and most of them don't really learn Arabic. Some of them did learn it a little bit when they went to what they call the madrasa, but they don't really learn Arabic. However, a black person who converts to Islam, many times they learn Arabic. It's a personal endeavor that they have. And I'm not saying that because of that, people who are interested in Kemet should learn the Medinetta, but I think it's only logical process for those who do so. But when the Hebrew Israelites learn Hebrew or black people learn Arabic, nobody bothers them or tell them you shouldn't do that or it's useless, blah 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 blah. But when black people learn Medinetta, we hear all sorts of things. When it comes to the Hebrew language, just do the test and ask, preferably a Hebrew teacher, and ask him if there was any reconstruction work done with the Hebrew language, and ask him about Yiddish. Just ask that and see what answer you will get, just for the record. All right, brothers and sisters, thank you very much for the participation. Kemet and Ma'at, please, brothers and sisters, share this video. Please share it. And thank you for those of you who have shared it. And thank you for those of you who will share it. It's very important. I think Sat 12 wrote, I think a lot of papyrus texts on engineering and science must have been lost, but people look at the religious temple text and think it must be a metaphor for quantum physics wishing. I don't know. So once again, thank you very much, brothers and sisters. I don't know if I will be that long the next time. But anyway, it's all good. It's all fun. We're not doing anything wrong. We're not harming anyone. We're not slandering anyone. Some people might not like some of the things that I said, but I think that I was not vicious. I don't really think that I was disrespectful. But it's all good. Everybody do what they have to do. You have to try to keep it cordial. You have to try to remain diplomatic. And we can all learn all day, every day. All of us, including myself. Thank you once again, brothers and sisters. Stay safe and stay healthy. And I will definitely holler at you later. Hotel.